No worries at all. Okay, there we go. I am just so grateful you were up for doing this.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, good, me too. Okay, so I was just pulling up your message and I want to read it for everybody who
This VSO script.
has never seen your updates and stuff, but you sent me I posted a Instagram story and you said, so grateful for you and your course. I was able to close my business and do UGC full time within a very short period. I'm on target to make over 40,000 by the end of this month and just started in April. What a blessing. So I had no idea. And I know I've probably seen some of your updates, but I just want to hear like how you got started. Like how'd you learn about UGC? What happened?
Well, I was previously in the business of selling antiques online.
Okay.
I used to sell in person, just do kind of vintage sales from my home. 2020 hit, I kind of got in on the online space and it went really well. And it turned out being kind of a burnout thing for me because I felt like a debt collector after a while, like chasing people for money online all the time.
Mhm.
And so I just kind of wanted to look for something different. And so I kind of got sucked down the rabbit hole of digital products, digital marketing, things like that, just somewhere where I could still work from home, and then maybe just kind of cut back on the antique selling. So that was December. I did my last online sale, and I usually take a break after Christmas. Going into January, it's a little bit slower. So I entered the digital marketing space, kind of did all that. It, it was okay. It wasn't really like, not me. It just wasn't a fit.
Yeah.
Um, so kind of was following some people. I don't even know, but somehow or another, I came across you, and that was before my TikTok account got hacked. I think I originally found you on TikTok. Um, and I was like, okay, you got my attention, like this whole Gen X thing. And I already had a larger Instagram following because I used to run kind of a home decor account thing but I hadn't really done much with it since doing the antiques online. Anyway, long story short, I found you. I thought I could maybe do this. So followed along for a while. And then my month was coming up where I like had to go back into selling antiques. And I gave myself a 1 year kind of, if this works in 1 year, then I don't have to do antiques part-time. I could do this full-time, but we'll kind of keep that in the background just in case it doesn't.
Yeah.
Needless to say, I did one sale after I started UGC and I haven't looked back at the antique business since. So
Oh
it's
my
been
gosh.
a wild ride. I never expected it to blow up the way it did.
Yeah.
I at first thought, okay, maybe this is just like a blessing, maybe this is just a fluke, whatever. But it hasn't stopped. So I can't do both. And so I decided to ride the wave and do this full time. So here we are.
Oh my gosh, that is amazing. I love like hearing those kind of stories because like you just like you I feel like you don't know what the opportunities are until you like jump in and then you're like, "Oh, okay, this is like a real thing. There's like lots of companies out there." So I love that. And you're in where remind me where you are. You're in Minnesota?
I'm in Minnesota. Yep.
Okay, cool. And you're a Gen Xer.
Yep. I'm
Yes, okay.
48 in 5 days.
Oh my gosh, happy early birthday.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
That's exciting. Are so you're I was just looking at your portfolio before we hopped on here. You are like no niche, so you work with like a bunch of different brands, right? Did you have like an idea in mind when you started UGC, like, oh, I'm probably gonna work with like, these types of brands?
I thought coming out of kind of that home decor community, selling antiques, the like aesthetic spaces I thought for sure home decor brand. I thought home. I have not done a home decor collab yet. Like I haven't done any of that. So
Wow.
it was skincare that was heavy right out of the gates for me, which was super uncomfortable for me because I'm like Amazon, what can I get the cheapest of whatever? Like I'm not
Yeah.
a maintenance person like that at all, like where I have
Yeah.
to have all these top notch whatever. So I was like, oh, skincare, that's not me, but we'll go with it. And yeah, for a while it was a lot of skincare. And then we did pets for like I got into a lot of pet UGC for a while. But I really love more of like that lifestyle, like stuff that I can like really relate to. I feel like it comes easy for me where it's fun. Like I can be creative, I can get into the moment, like I feel good talking about it. Um, just yeah, more of that. But yeah, I've done anything from, shoes, I've done skincare, I've done like a little like traveling things, cookware, just all over the place. So not
Yeah.
really, and I'm okay with that because then I feel like you just don't get bored. Like
Yeah.
that's kind of my where, some people like to niche down. It's just not my deal. So
Yeah, no, I love that. And yeah, I mean that same thing happened with me. Like I thought travel, little kid stuff, but it's been like rare, right? So I think it's fun for people to get into UGC and have kind of an idea or maybe even a goal, but be open because you just never know who you're gonna end up loving like working with.
right.
With the skincare, was that like, do you remember your first UGC deal that you got?
Actually, my first one was with Dinovite. So it was pet right off the top, but
Okay.
then it was a Forever Glow. It was I just remember this one because I got totally scammed. It was Forever Glow neck cream.
Oh
And
no.
I put so much effort into it and the lady just I delivered all my stuff. I got ghosted. Um and it was a shit show, but
She's never paid, like they never paid you.
never paid, stopped communicating. I mean, and knowing what I know now, I mean, I didn't have a contract. I didn't have nothing to
Yeah,
really
yeah.
look back on. It was a good learning lesson, it was $200, but when you're first getting started, I mean, the amount of time that it takes you to create like
Hmm.
a one thing and you're like redoing and you want it to be perfect. And I just felt like I had a lot of time into that. And then, to get that taste in your mouth, like right off the bat, it was like, okay, this sucks. But I didn't give up. And then I ended up getting a collaboration with bed sheets was my second one, and then Zen Wellness for like a menopause. Oh, I don't even remember. It was like something you add to your coffee or something like that. So
Okay.
yeah, it was like just all over, nothing consistent, but um, I really fell in love with the lifestyle UGC when I guess there was a guy that I was talking to on X, and he really pushed my limits with like I think it was one of the first big editing ones because most of the ones I did prior to that were all like raw, give me the raw footage, give me the raw
Oh,
footage. We got our own
okay.
editors, so I never had to put anything together.
Hmm.
So he was just very on me, like, you can do this, and this is gonna, you can do better. And at first I was like, oh, this is awful. But it turned out being one of my favorite videos of all time. And it did really well. And I've worked with them 3 times, 4 times now. And I love the outcome every single time. Like it always becomes my next favorite video just because that creative side is in me, I feel like. And with the raw footage, you don't get to use it. So
Yeah.
it's kind of fun. Like raw footage is great, it's
Mhm.
quick, throw it out there, let somebody else slap it together. But
Yeah.
I enjoy that creativity part of it too. So
Yeah. I love that. Yeah. Oh, was it so the guy that was hiring you was encouraging you to like make changes and do better and stuff? Is that?
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
He
cool.
he was just very his standards were high, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, like completely freaked out thinking I am gonna suck at this. He was very helpful and very encouraging and just yeah, I did the script writing for it. I did the editing, everything, and ended up being a very good video for them. So I was super happy. And that was kind of a confidence booster too, where you're just like, okay, I can do this kind of a deal. So
Yeah, yeah. Those are, I mean, yeah, like you said, the raw content is great sometimes, especially when it's like, oh, okay, it's like easy money technically.
right.
But I think that, yeah, like getting those kind of deals really push you and do give you that confidence boost, especially when they end up loving it and it works well. So I love that that happened for you. That's so cool. Are you where, like at the beginning, thinking back to the beginning, because you got started, so I remember you saying in April you really got started. Where were most of those like initial UGC deals coming? Like, were you reaching out? Were you on platforms?
So crazy. I have never done a cold pitch yet. I've
Amazing.
never cold pitched. All of my deals have been inbounds. I would say 90% of my work comes from X, Twitter,
Okay.
and maybe a little bit off of Instagram. But my TikTok got hacked and stolen, so I have not been on TikTok. Originally, I did sign up for a couple of the platforms. I think I did Vizzy, signed up for them, but never did anything with them because I felt overwhelmed because there was like so many. So I think you did, it was in the course when you had Julie on and she talked about X or Twitter. So I was like, I'm just gonna try that. So I got on there and I've never used that platform before and it seemed really weird, but I was like just posting, like she said, random stuff. And I mean, it was like the inbounds were inbounding. So it just,
Wow.
it's been crazy on there ever since. And that is literally the only platform I post on or use, really.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
so cool. That's great to hear. Because a lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to, bother with Twitter, X, and they use other stuff and it's great for them, but it's good to hear. Did you find like you had to kind of weed out a lot of like different things on X, or was it mostly
I
straightforward?
I think once you start posting and kind of using like your keywords and stuff, the jobs just kind of start to show up. Like the algorithm just kind of takes over and so I just go on there and take like 15, 20 minutes every morning, do some engaging, apply to some of the, the posts and just send my portfolio link off Canva that I created through one of your templates and yeah, I keep thinking, gosh, is this just me that's having it this easy? Is it just this easy? Is it gonna end? Like, how is this so easy? Yeah, I don't know.
Wow, that's no, that's amazing. Um, how do most of your UGC deals go? Like, are you doing a lot of the raw content still, or is it a mix? Like, are you editing most of the videos? How is it usually for you working with these brands?
I would say lately a lot has been raw
Okay.
footage. I mean, and like we agreed, it's easy, but I mean, they can get a ton of content out of raw footage. And they always say, "Oh, no work, just send over the raw footage and it's gonna be this easy." And it's like, well, yeah, it's easy, but you're getting like 10 videos out of this. And so I think people are now catching on that they should charge more for raw footage, but um again at first I was like, oh, I'm not going to charge more, this is way too easy, but then after you realize that you're pretty much giving like a ton of stuff away, then it
Yeah,
kind of clicks like, okay, I need to charge for this. So
yeah,
first I was probably lowballing myself, but now I'm getting it. Like I realize
yeah.
what they can do with raw footage. But yeah, I would say 90% of what I'm doing now is is raw footage.
Okay. And then how is your pricing and like what you've been charging from the beginning up until now? How has that kind of journey been for you? Like, what did you start with? Have you taken on gifted collabs or anything like that?
I did do, I think I've done maybe my lowest deal was 75. And that was just for a product that I actually really wanted to try, I think, and I don't remember what it was. But other than that, I think other than that 75, like 150 was kind of my starting rate. And then bumped it up to 175. Now, rarely I'll do like a $200 deal, but I mean, it's got to be pretty easy. And you know, I think I'm fairly confident in what I'm doing now where I can charge that, 375, 400. Um, I've done videos for more than that. I've done package deals, just you don't know, like it's nobody gives you, I mean, you give ideas,
Yeah.
but nobody knows the inbounds that are coming in and like how to respond to them because everything's different. So,
Yeah.
you want the job. And at first I was like taking everything and I was like, this is nuts. I remember back in July, it was my highest paid month yet. It was like $7,400 in July.
Wow.
I took on everything and I was like, I can't keep doing this. Like, I'm going to burn out. And so at that point, I just made the decision to pick the ones that I aligned with that like felt right, that were something that I got excited about, or a product that I wanted or would actually really use versus like stuff that I was doing. I just kind of flipped the switch and it wasn't really about the money and kind of made it about, I mean, it's always about the money. It
Yeah,
really
but you're more
is
picky probably with,
more picky. And I felt like, okay, I'm to the point where I can say no. Like I'm confident in myself. I'm confident in the work that I can do. I can say no. And I think that was really a turning point for me where it made it fun again. Because for a while it was like, oh, I don't know if I can sustain this, but
yeah.
after time, and now I just am picky choosy about what I do. So, and I
Yeah.
can say no at first. I was like, I can't say no, I feel bad. And, they come to you like, oh, our budget is 125 for all this stuff. And, now you can call bullshit. Like, it's like, nah, no, it's not. You have a bigger, and you teach that, but it's just like, to actually have the confidence to put those actions out there is a whole nother ball game. So,
Oh yeah, and I think it only comes with time, right? I mean, at the beginning, you're just thinking, hopefully this works. Hopefully I
yeah,
make money. And then you start saying yes to everything. And that's been the story for so many people, I think, where it's like you get in the groove of saying yes because you see the money coming in and you're like, oh, I'm getting experience. But then you kind of feel like you're on a hamster wheel and you just can't slow down. So
right.
I love that like that was probably like what 4 months into from April to July realizing that.
Yeah.
Were you what is your typical, I guess, day and month kind of look like for you now that you've been doing it for several months? Are you like charging more and you're getting and working a little bit less? How does it typically look?
Yeah, so I kind of tracked that in the beginning and I actually wrote it down because uh, like in April I did it was like 21 jobs. So like my averages, I've been really keeping track of that. So like in September I did 10 jobs, but I only did 10. It was a slower month, but my average per job was like $667.
Oh,
So where my average when I was starting was, oh gosh, I don't even know. Maybe I didn't write that down, but it was a lot less. It was like my average was like 200 per job. So, when you
yeah.
map it all like that and like, yeah, I only did 10, but in July, I maybe did like 25 and, it was only like $200. So if you really track it like that, it all starts to make sense, like where you're doing less, but you're making more, or your average per job is a lot more. So,
Yeah. And I feel like that's always the goal, right? It's like you
yeah,
just increase
work
your,
less, make
yeah,
the same, or make,
exactly.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. Are you, what are you, so you do it full time, right? So this is your full-time gig. Are
Yep.
you mostly like working most weekdays? How does your schedule usually look like?
I did make it a pact in the beginning that I wasn't going to do weekends because I see a lot of people working weekends, and I was like, no, I'm gonna
Hmm.
not do that right out of the gates because I feel like that is going to lead to burnout if you're
Yeah,
doing it 7 days a week. So I have guidelines for myself, but yeah, I usually get up in the morning, read my emails, kind of take that time to respond, do anything like that. And then once that sun comes around to my good windows, I have like three spots, like one early morning, one afternoon, and then one sun go down window. So I kind of have to play with the sun, which now we're losing daylight, so it's even harder. But yeah, I do the emails in the morning, kind of set up my day, set up everything that I'm gonna need, get my scripts ready, and do my thing.
awesome. Are
Yeah.
you working with a lot of repeat clients at this point, or do you feel like new brands are always coming to you, or
I'm
both?
starting to like where I have those repeats and we've really built those relationships. But I also have a lot of new stuff coming in too. So the repeats are nice because you know how to work together and what works. But it's always fun and exciting to get new ones in the inbox too. So um, yeah.
It's a little mix of both. That's awesome. And
Mhm.
you live with your husband? Okay, I think you've done some. Has he ever been in the content, right?
Yes.
Okay, how does he feel about it?
He's getting better. At first he was like, okay, you want me to do what? And so, I mean, he's definitely, he's not a natural. He's not one that likes to be on camera, but he will totally help me out if needed. We just did one for some e-bikes and we had a blast. We ended up making a whole weekend out of it. We stayed in like this glamping tent and it was just, we had an awesome time. And so, and the trip was paid for, so he's like, okay, yeah, this is fun. I can do this. What do you
Yeah,
want me to do? Drink coffee and smile and, whatever. So if he doesn't have to talk or just maybe has to say a couple words, he's totally on board
yeah.
in helping. But if it's more than that, definitely not.
Yeah, I totally get that. I think people can relate to that. Okay, now I'm super curious. Walk me through what that e-bike deal looked like in like the whole process, if you don't mind.
Yep. So it was for Rio Adventures. It is, I don't know if you know who they are, but it's like a gift boxing or
Yeah.
it's cards for your state where you choose a card,
Oh,
it's a scratch,
yeah,
you
yeah, yeah,
scratch it off and you don't know where you're going.
yes.
So um yeah, so they'll send you like a little guide so you can kind of plan your trip out where you're gonna go and whatever. But yeah, we did the e-bikes and it was like a 3 hour trip away and we just yeah filmed content one day and enjoyed the rest, and that is the guy that pushes me and like that I really enjoy working with. He is an
Oh, cool.
agency that I found, or he found me through X, and yeah, that was one of the videos that did really well, and then they came back for repeat footage. So yeah, it was awesome. And that's the kind of stuff that I like to create because like we're having fun and we get to work together and we get paid to do it. So and it just seems so natural that
Yeah.
I don't know. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, that's super cool. So then you stayed at like a glamping spot. Was
Yeah.
that part
And
of the
I
UGC deal?
actually I it wasn't, but I ended up filming it like it was.
Okay.
created a whole video, and then I sent it to them and pitched them for reimbursement of our stay. So I guess I did. I said I've never pitched, but I
Yeah.
did, because I did send them a watermarked video that I made, and they ended up using it for their page.
Oh,
Um,
amazing. So they reimbursed you.
Yep, yep. So that was awesome. I was like, I'm just gonna treat this like it's part of the deal, because it was a little more expensive to stay there, but it was
Yeah.
such a cool experience. So I just filmed everything like it was gonna be part of the deal, and like I already closed it, and I created the video and sent it to them with a price, and they got it. So the
Amazing.
whole trip ended up being, yeah, a free trip. So that
Oh,
was.
that's so awesome. I think so many people want to, and I've seen like an increase in this. So many people want to get into more travel type of UGC, and I've done some, and that's another one of my goals in 2026 with my family. But there's so much opportunity, I think, for people. And now, just because life is expensive, it's like if you can travel for free essentially, and get free stays or get paid to create the content while you're on vacation with your family, I think it's a huge, huge thing a lot of people want to know more about. So I love your strategy doing that.
Yeah, well, and I never had anything like that in my portfolio. And I thought, even if they don't get it, at least I can have it in there and maybe branch out into some more travel content, or, stays like that. So I
Yeah.
thought it's a win-win no matter what. And it's the experience and just kind of learning like what to capture, for those travel style videos that I've never done before. And so it was a learning experience, and it turned out super cool, and I had fun with it. So
That's awesome. Are you planning on doing more? Like, are you gonna try to do more of the travel stuff?
I would love to do that. Just especially as we get older. I think, how fun would that be if you could just travel all over and either get paid to do it, or like you said, just travel for free.
Yeah.
And so I would definitely love to branch out more into that, but I just needed to get that first one under my belt so I could say, hey, I can do this kind of a thing. So,
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And I think a lot of people, maybe what I did was before I ever had any, free stays or did travel UGC was just whenever we were at an Airbnb, whenever we were at a hotel, before the family goes and like dumps all of our stuff in there, I just film it and get like little videos of us, and then put them together. And I had a ton of content before I ever pitched to any properties. So
mhm.
yeah,
Yeah, I think
that's
that's
lots
the
of
way to,
options.
yeah, go about it. Just, pretend like you already got the deal, and,
Yeah.
just like taught in the beginning, like grab products that you're already using around your house and make
Yeah.
content. And this is kind of that same concept, like you're
Yeah.
already going, film it.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly. What equipment do you use for filming like every day? Are you using like a few different products? What's been your go-to?
I'm very basic. Like I think I told you starting out, I didn't even know how to use Google Drive.
Yeah.
Um, I had no idea how to upload, download, like those words were so foreign to me. And so I have my basic magnetic tripod thing. I very rarely use a microphone, because I feel like the content now is more just super organic, and like if people see you with a microphone, like it just comes off more, I don't know, adsy, so to say. So I rarely use a microphone. But yeah, I use a light if I have to, just a little box light, but nothing, no fancy cameras. No, I use my phone and the window.
Yeah. I love it. I love it because that's always, of course it is because a lot of people are new to this space, but it's always a question like, oh my gosh, do I need to buy a bunch of stuff? But I ex am exactly the same as you. I rarely use a microphone. And you've probably realized like, everyone's going to be different, but if you're filming in your home and you record and it sounds good because our phones are pretty good now with audio, there's really no reason to. And I think there's different instances where maybe you're outside and it's windy, maybe a microphone would come in handy, but just starting with the basics, It's kind of like a relief to a lot of people, like knowing
Yeah.
they can
Yeah,
just,
it's very minimal. Like
yeah,
the investment is very minimal. And then you like start to try to find things that you can buy and use because you're like, taxes are gonna really suck this year.
yeah,
Like we need to buy things. So yeah, I've kind of found myself like trying to gather things just to buy for tax purposes. But
yeah,
yeah.
totally, totally. I was gonna ask you, so are you on a like a farm or do you have property?
Oh, we do. I wouldn't call it like a working farm. It's more of like a funny farm. Like I have three rescue goats, some rescue cats, a dog, just
Okay.
like like, yeah, it's
Yeah.
more of a cutesy, not anything. Like they don't do anything. They don't make us money.
They're
Cost
just there
us.
being cute. Yeah.
They're just
No,
there for
I
you.
love it. I saw how many, so you you've done some like pet UGC deals with some of your pets, right? What is that? Did you randomly get those? Do you have, I think you have examples on your portfolio, right? With your
Yep.
pets?
Yeah, those they just like I said, I started with the dog. I do a lot of stuff with my dog.
Mm-hmm.
I am in the process of doing something with the cats right now. That's like a secret one I can't talk about, but the animals are hard to work with. Like they should be double,
Yeah.
especially dogs. Okay, they'll listen. Cats have a mind of their own, and goats. I did the panda drum video with my goats, and oh my gosh, the behind the scenes footage was so comical because I mean, it was a shit show. I mean, they were like eating the tapper, whatever,
Yeah, the drop.
the dong dong. Yeah, they were
Yeah, yeah.
doing that. I mean, I had one lick the camera. They were in my hair. I mean, it was just a total disaster. But people always think that pet UGC is, I think it's so hard. Like, I
Yeah.
think that's probably the hardest to do is with the pets. It really is. It's worse than kids. I think
That's
that's
so
been
funny.
my
Yeah.
personal experience.
Yeah, yeah. I love hearing people's different perspective on it because, I do UGC with my cats. The last video I did a few weeks ago was like not super easy because they weren't cooperating, but of course I don't have goats, so I have no idea. You know, I would imagine that would be very tricky and they have no idea what the heck is
Oh,
going
they have no idea when you can't be like, sit, stay away, stand,
on.
do this. They just look at you like,
Yeah. Yeah. Is your dog like does okay with it though?
he does
Like this
okay.
year?
He's super old, so he's
Okay.
like, will do anything for a treat, and he pretty much just lays there and like lets me love on him or do whatever,
Yeah.
he's not hyperactive or anything like that. So,
Yeah.
and then there's a lot of them that are for older dogs, like supplements and different things
Hmm.
that I do get for him because he is a senior dog. But yeah, he's pretty mellow, pretty easy to work with. But
Yeah.
yeah,
That's good.
yeah,
That's so funny. I love it. So you used one of the templates in the course for the portfolio. Did it make it easier for you?
it
Just
did.
your
I
feedback?
don't
Okay.
think, I mean, Canva is Canva. Again, something I wasn't familiar with when I got started. So, yeah, the template was definitely a lifesaver for me. I think a lot of people get freaked out when they're like, "Oh, you want me to do what? I need to make a portfolio,"
Yeah.
kind of a thing. So, the template was definitely something that motivated me to get started. And you kind of got to be creative with it, which I love. You can change colors and actually kind of help me get started on Canva. So,
Cool.
which I never had a Canva account until I got your course. So that
Yeah.
was, yeah. And now I just update it, every
Yeah.
now and then. And if I have a slow day or a slow week, I'll just go in there, put some new examples in there and just try to clean it up a little bit, tweak it a little. But yeah, I've had that same one since
Awesome.
I
I
did.
was just looking at it before we hopped on, like I said, and it looks so good. It looks great. Like it's very organized. I love how you have the brands that you've worked with at the bottom. It looks really, really good.
Oh,
So, Amazing. And a little bit of that was the template, obviously, but I feel like you've really done a good job with it and organized it well. So
Thank you.
yeah, yeah, it looks really good. What has been like the most surprising thing, I guess, about UGC since you've gotten started that maybe you weren't expecting?
I I would say probably the busyness part of it. Like, we're all kind of probably at one point felt like the influencer world is for the young and the beautiful and the whatever. And this is so opposite of that. Like, you can just truly be yourself, and like everybody has something to offer. Um, and I love that. Like, I never expected that brands would want to work with 47-year-old me. That's a shit show in myself. Like, my life is not put together. Yeah, I guess that was the biggest surprise, just that I was going to come out of the gates running and this was going to work and be my full-time job, and that I get to work with some of the brands that I've worked with. I'm just like, how is this real? Where I had, and actually, I wanted to, you mentioned not having to have followers. So on my old Instagram account, I had like 25,000 followers at one
Yeah.
point. And I thought, I'm going to try this and see if it really does matter. So I started a brand new Instagram account at 0 followers, just to see if what you said was legit.
Yeah.
And I didn't tell anybody I was doing it, didn't send anyone over from this page, that page. I just started it. And I think I'm at 193 followers. And I've gotten more work from that than I did off the 25,000 follower account ever. Like, that account never made me any money, maybe got me a few free items, but I never made any money off of that. And so I really tell people that when people ask me, do you have to have X amount of followers? It's like, I literally started at 0
Wow.
followers, and never had a Twitter account. Everything's brand new, so it works. It really does.
I love that you did that. Did you even put your other, like your bigger account, like link it in your portfolio? Do you have it connected to anything?
I don't think they're linked at all. I Sometimes when I post like an example video, I'll tag my other account in it, just because I feel like maybe I get a little more exposure for a possible brand deal. Like, more
Yeah.
people see it, but I don't promote the other account or anything
Yeah.
like that, or use it to my advantage in any way, because I really, like I said, that was kind of a home decor thing. And then when I was up in the air at what I was doing, and I had a separate one for my antique business, and I had all these accounts, and I thought, I'll just start another account. Um, and I didn't, like I said, I didn't tell anybody that I was doing it. I just did it. And I wanted to make it more, just kind of, to bring in what I was looking for, like customize it around what I wanted to attract. And that
Mhm.
was brand deals, obviously. And I would like to actually brand my page better and get into some of that, but I just have not had time. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I really want to, post and stuff on Instagram, but that's a whole nother job in itself. And trying to find time to put together content and grab clips and post regular. I mean, props to you, because you do an awesome job at that. But
Well, luckily I have my assistant helps me a lot. Otherwise I couldn't because it is so much. And
yeah,
Instagram feels like a whole nother beast. Even like TikTok, it seems easier to me for TikTok, but yeah, Instagram's a whole nother beast.
it
But
is.
yeah, and I love that you have because I was obviously we were messaging on Instagram and stuff, but you have a great Instagram because you have like your introduction, you have your video examples, your Canva portfolio linked. And I've noticed that even when you don't post consistently, like my mom hasn't posted for months, but she still gets brands that find her on Instagram because you're just there and you have that account and it's optimized. So
Yep.
yeah, I think that's great. And I love that you have been busy though, because that's always the goal. So
Yeah, busy is a
um
good thing. I'm not
yeah.
complaining.
Yeah, you're doing a lot of really like a ton of things right. So it's exciting to hear. Do you feel like obviously, talking about age a lot, but do you feel like your age has been, was it something that you were worried about initially? I know you talked a little bit about that, but how has it been like a factor in your whole UGC journey? Are you getting like age specific UGC deals or what does that look like for you?
Yeah, like I said, going into it, I thought there's no way because, we got that mindset that you need to be young and but then I got to thinking, like, if I'm scrolling, I'm not going to stop at a 20-year-old that's talking about wrinkles or menopause so I was like, okay, maybe she's actually on to something. You had mentioned that. And so real quickly, I was like, yeah, we are the buying power. We are the ones with the wrinkles and the menopause and the life experience. And I can see how this is working towards our advantage. So I I always say, like anybody that ever asks, I'm like, start messy, just start. And yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I love that because I've talked I mentioned this on a couple of other like videos and interviews, but I think especially the Gen X generation, obviously I'm not Gen X, but I've heard from other Gen Xers that, growing up, it's like everyone is gorgeous that's on TV or on camera, right? So it's like like a lot of people that have like grown up in that era are just having these doubts before they even start.
Exactly.
So I think it's so important to remind people like, you know, really at the end of the day, the brands want authenticity and they want relatability. So like whatever that looks like for you, like different people of all backgrounds, shapes, sizes, it's like everyone kind of has a space in here because that's like you could be the perfect person for that brand that they're looking for. And I love that you've kind of found that as well.
Yeah, I've noticed even like the ads and stuff are changing so much. Like it used to be so perfected and everything was like, I can't post that, my hair wasn't whatever. But now it's like the ones that we stop to watch are like the straight out of bed, like coffee cup, messy, but and I love that because that is so me. Like I am a goofball. I'm unorganized. My life is chaos. And if somebody can relate to that and I think that's another reason why I love it so much is because we're kind of in that era of imperfection and just be yourself and where a lot of people just starting out are probably still at that point where oh, I'm not perfect or I'm a hot sweaty mess all the time and I'm going through menopause and what could I possibly have to offer and yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah, it's cool. It really,
Yeah, yeah, it's really cool. And just like being able to be yourself and that be like an advantage is
Mhm.
always gonna win. I feel like in any field, just because it makes your life easier. You don't have to pretend to be somebody that you're not. So
Exactly.
that's
Exactly.
really, really cool. Do you use CapCut for editing? Is that what you
I
use?
do. I
Okay,
do.
cool. Has it gotten, I mean, obviously you've probably did you edit videos before starting?
No,
Nothing. Okay. Okay. How was the process for you? I know you mentioned like one of the first deals, it kind of pushed you, but how has that process been?
it's definitely getting easier as I go.
Yeah.
But I remember, yeah, trying to use CapCut at first and was like, I would just like punch in all my clips and it'd just be this big mess and I'd spend like hours and I was like, how are they getting their voice the same through this whole thing? And then I think maybe it clicked, oh, she said record in front of the white wall and upload your whole video and then you can do overlays. I'm like, what's an overlay? So, you learn as you go and just
Yeah.
practicing and at first I used to type in like the whole script, like word for captions. And it's
Uh,
like, no, you don't have to do that.
yeah, that would take a long time.
A total learning curve again, just like the Google Drive thing and the
Hmm.
um yeah,
Yeah.
it's learning curve. It all is because we don't come from like the techie generation, we're pen and paper and some days emails were sending an attachment was hard enough. And then now you want me to send like 25 raw footage clips to where? And so it was, yeah, it was a lot to learn, but I did it
Yeah.
and I'm glad because it's nice to know that kind of stuff and have to learn and yeah, I have boys, so they weren't all that helpful really because they don't really get into that stuff either. So I had to Google a lot and watch a lot of YouTube and just look at other creators and tips and tricks that they would give. And I guess that's been super helpful. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. It's always going to be a process, and I think the editing again scares a lot of people, of course. But like anything, it just gets easier and easier. So I love first of all that you had like a kind of a bad experience with getting scammed at the beginning. But and I think I don't know if most people, but a lot of people would probably be like, okay, this is terrible. I don't want to do this again, and then they quit. So props to you for just continuing and like going and being like, okay, that's a learning experience and continuing on. Cause like now, several months later, you're doing it full time and it sounds like you're loving it.
yeah, and I haven't, that was the one and only job. I did have to use Do Pay Me two times now for collecting on invoices, but I've always gotten paid. Like they've been awesome, and I did have to reach out to them two times to help. But other than
Hmm.
that, I haven't been scammed. I mean, I've got a lot of spammy, scammy emails where it's
Yeah.
like, okay, that's not. Um, which I do remember reaching out to you a couple times too. I think it was like maybe my first weekend, and I got like this $6,000 or $8,000, and I was
Oh
like,
yeah.
no way. And I'm like, yeah, yeah. And then you're like, okay, that's too good to be true. That's a Gmail account. And like, okay, all these signs I see, I see, I see, I see. So you kind of get to know like the spammy ones from the good ones, and
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
another learning curve. So
Yep, exactly. No, I'm just so happy for you. What is your like do you have goals for, this last quarter or like moving into 2026? You just gonna keep it rolling or anything specific that you have in mind?
I would love to just see one $10,000 a month. Just it's like when I got up to that close to eight in July, I, I don't know. I don't know if I can handle that, I don't know what that consists of or what it would to get there. Like how much work is that going to be? Um, but that would be, I mean, just for something to say, like I had a $10,000 a month. But other than that, the work is coming in, and I'm just super grateful for that. And if I don't have to go back into selling and being that debt collector, and I can stay home and work and have fun with it and get tons of cool stuff and stuff like, I mean, I'm cool with that. I don't have to have, I have to stay where, I'd like to stay in that at least $5,000 a month range just to kind of keep me where I was at, to replace my income. But otherwise, yeah, the sky's the limit, and $10,000 months would be awesome. I'm not gonna lie. Or some more travel ones that were, stuff like that. But
Yeah, yeah. I feel like you totally could. As you know, you totally could do that $10,000 a month. So yeah, I think like for me it was, and I see like kind of a trend, right? For a lot of people that hit that ceiling of breaking through the $10,000 a month, it's the repeat clients, it's the maybe the retainers, the big packages. But yeah, I think yeah, you'll probably message me in like a few months and be like, yeah, I
You're
did.
like,
No, that's so cool. I'm so happy for you. Like I just love it and I love seeing your journey unfold and I feel like you really got started so recently, which is also exciting because it's just like you just can keep going. So I love your story and I'm just super happy for you, Heather.
thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
And like I said, it is thanks to you because you took a chance on us older gals and men and women, and just really seen the potential that we have to offer. And yeah, nobody else out there is talking about it really. So we are super grateful for you that you did that. So,
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you doing that. And I appreciate you hopping on this call. So I'm excited to share with everybody. And I know that everyone will be able to take away a lot from it. So thank you for doing all of this.
oh, I said I owe you one for sure. So I at least owed you this call for sure.
Aw, thank you. Let me just stop.